What is going on, YouTube land? Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be tackling the rear end of the Tacoma. More specifically, we're going to be installing some +4 extended brake lines in preparation for the Dobinson's install. Now it is advertised as a extended travel and they recommend extending the brake lines. So that's what I'm going to do. Anyways, let's get right into it. Here is what the Toyota OEM stock brake lines look like if you haven't crawled under here. Nothing fancy really. You're gonna have some metal brackets here, some up top up there, and some just generic looking brake lines really. Now one other solution I found online that a lot of people do is buy an extension bracket for this bracket right here. So it essentially lifts this up, I don't know, a couple inches I would guess. Therefore, extending these brake lines by the expense of bending these metal lines over here that runs along the diff here, and then this metal line right here. Now that is a solution. I'm sure that works fine. Now if you take a look here, now I don't know if you can tell, but I am at full droop on this side because I have the wheel off. All the weight is hanging on here. This is how much brake line I have left. I'm pretty comfortable with how it is right now. Obviously Toyota set it up this way. Imagine if we had 2 more inches of droop here at the shock, how much more slack it takes up here. So that's gonna be pretty darn tight. I've heard of horror stories online where people rip off their brake lines accidentally on the trail. So I'm just gonna go ahead and get it done, get it out of the way, so I don't have to worry about that. Now as you can imagine, filming this is going to be super difficult. I'm going to try my best to capture everything, especially that angle up there. Now my plan of attack is I'm going to do these top ones first. I'm going to do the more difficult ones first and then easy ones afterwards. However, I'm going to use these to explain essentially what all 4 you're going to have to do. Now there's going to be a flare nut over here. Highly advise you use a flare nut wrench so you don't round off this nut here. And then this thing that sticks out right here, the sharp edge, is a clip. Now this just has to pull up this way to disconnect and loosen up all this. Now all these flare nuts are going to be 10 millimeters, so make sure you have your 10 millimeter flare nut wrench handy and ready. What I'm trying to do now is try to break these open just slightly. Okay, got that one. Okay. Ow. It's budging. Breaking some knuckles. So I am using 2 screwdrivers. One as a kind of a lever, and then the other to go right under that lip to try to lift it up. If you could see it, like I said, the camera is not going to be able to capture much because it's so dang tight under here. Alright, it's moving though. But it's going to be a battle to the end, I can tell, until it pops right up. Let's see if pliers are going to work here. There you go. All right, now this guy's loose. Any of you have any other bright ideas? Drop a comment down below. Won't help me, but it'll help other people. It's coming out though. Okay, let's see if we can get it with pliers. All right. Okay, I'm gonna break this loose a little bit first. Again, because it's being held on by the clip, so. Okay, that was easy. So this is an excellent illustration of what I did up there. Just that the only difference is that up there you have no room. We're just breaking these loose. I said I'm not gonna do both at once. All right, there we go. All right, get ready for the bloodshed. I have a bunch of towels. I have a big towel under me to catch everything. I'll try to make this quick. You can see this one has got two flat sides. This one is hexagonal, like a wrench could go over it. Same thing with the other ends. On the same respective ones, the one that had the flat one on that side had the same thing on this side. And this one is also, it's a weird hexagonal shape, but nonetheless, let's compare the lengths. Now the stalker, the one I just took off, is the passenger side, the rear passenger. I'm gonna try my best to show you here. This one is 20 inches. Okay, so that's 20. And this one is a weird shape one. So I'm guessing this is gonna be the hexagonal one. So this guy, and we're gonna measure this. End to end is, oh, let me wrestle with this for a little bit. So end to end is about 24 3/4, almost 25 inches. The shape of the end of the brake line is also going to be dependent on the shape of that bracket. So you can see that bracket is hexagonal and this one is flat. There you go. So that one's flat, that one's hexagonal. So I guess you can't go wrong. You'll figure it out, and if it doesn't fit, you'll know it doesn't fit. Same thing on the bracket down here. That one's hexagonal, that one is flat. And it looks like it doesn't really matter which end goes up or down. So I'm just tightening it by hand, and I plan on using that clip again to hold it in place, and then I can tighten it up that way. You notice these lock, I think they're lock washers that came with the kit. Yeah, we're gonna need these. All right, we're gonna use this for an example because it's very close by. From the looks of the design, you're not gonna need it on this side, but let's pay attention to this side for now. These washers, I think this is gonna lock on this side, and then we're gonna use the OEM clip on the normal side over here. And that's what's gonna keep this from not moving so much. So let's see if that works. Oh, that's more like it. That's not going anywhere. We're gonna tighten this up again. Good and tight. Again, it's got to be pretty firm because it's a flare. It holds pressure by two metal surfaces mating together. So I don't know what to tell you. Just do it nice and firm. Yeah, that's good. And this is not going anywhere. Up to the top. You know those toys that you use different shapes to put in different size holes? Well, I probably failed at that as a kid. In hindsight, you could probably install these before when it's still on the shop table. Again, that clip, even though it could be your enemy, it's your friend right now. As I don't need anything on this side to hold it. Alright, we are done with the first one. Alright, same thing, we're gonna undo this side. The top side of the driver's side rear brake line. Okay, now we are comparing the driver's side rear brakes. Total length of the stock one is 19 inches. The aftermarket one, $24. And the shape is the same. We're just gonna go ahead and lock it. Into place. I was just waiting for the brake fluid to come through, and it finally went through all the way, the whole length, and I'm just gonna connect it. So there's just gonna be less air bubbles later to mess around with or try to bleed out. And by the shape, like I showed you earlier, the shape of this line, we don't need that washer, that lock washer, that round one, because the bracket's just gonna hold it here. Last one. And we're gonna lock it in. All right. That's it. That's it. That's a wrap. Not bad at all. All this extra wire here. FYI, this is the differential breather hose, so you probably don't have this. So that's why this hose is here. It's because this is actually one of the first mods I did to the truck. Now to clean everything, I recommend to clean everything up. Bunch of brake cleaner, so that if it does leak down the road, you know that there is a leak or there's gonna be a puddle underneath the truck. So I'm gonna stop the video here. I'm not gonna show you how to bleed the brakes. To be honest, if you don't know how to bleed the brakes, you should not be doing this modification. Anyways, if you have any questions, any comments, anything I could have done better, easier for next time when I do this, or to another truck, drop a comment down below. Maybe it'll help other people out as well. Thank you for watching, and we will see you next time. Peace.